Terminal Montage is a YouTuber well known for his Something About series, where he animates a speedrun or playthrough, usually of popular Nintendo games. Today we're talking about his Something About Kirby series, where he animates the general gist of each Kirby game's story, and in each scene there are a large amount of memes. What we're interested in is one of the recurring memes from the series, Kirbo being a Christian who destroys his enemies with his Bible and cross that he keeps on him at all times, or at least for the most part. How biblically accurate is Christian Kirbo though? First things first, let's take a quick look at what biblically accurate angels look like. This is important, as in Christianity, demons are not these little red monsters with horns. Demons and angels are one and the same, except for one key difference. Whether the angel thinks God stinks like a goat that's been run over 47 times in the middle of the Nevada desert, or he's the realest G to ever exist. This is why demons are often referred to as fallen angels. That said, let's take a look at a biblically accurate angel, because what I drew for these are just basic misconceptions of what angels look like. This is an ophanim, as described in Ezekiel 1:15 through 20. I saw a wheel on the earth beside the living creatures. As for the appearance of the wheels and their construction, their appearance was like the gleaming of beryl, and the four had the same likeness, their appearance and construction being as it were a wheel within a wheel. Also, we use the word beryl to describe multiple different colors of gemstone, and we don't know which type the word in the original Hebrew language is describing, but it would be one of these colors shown on the screen. Most often, these get described as the golden wheels, but nothing in the text specifically indicates a gold color. And their rims were tall and awesome, and the rims of all four were full of eyes all around. This is where all the eyes come from, and my nightmares. Wherever the spirit wanted to go, they went, and the wheels rose along with them, for the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. And this is why this image has a drawing of a baby in it, to represent the soul, which we don't really have an agreed upon way to draw a soul, and so the other one just puts a big eye. I like the baby one better on this, but it's all personal preference at that point. That said, a lot of the endgame bosses in Kirby line up extremely well with descriptions of angels in the Bible. Here is 02 as drawn by TerminalMontage, with some striking similarities to the angel described. And yes, I understand it's not one-to-one with any biblical angels, they just have a lot of similarities. Or how about the boss Galeem from Smash Bros? Once again, has some similarities to other biblical angels. The designers of these characters likely were inspired a little bit by biblical angels, although these characters themselves are not biblical angels. And once again, Kirby is a main character in all of TerminalMontage's Smash Bros videos, so the meme still works well in those. Also, if you've ever wondered why the first words out of every angel's mouth in the Bible are, "Be not afraid," that's your answer. Here's an example of something a single angel does in the Bible in 2 Kings 19:35. In that night, the angel of the Lord went out and struck down 185,000 in the camp of the Assyrians. When people arose early in the morning, behold, these were all dead bodies. That was just one angel in the Bible. All of this is to say, when Kirbo is casting out demons, the Kirby bosses work fantastically with that and are quite biblically accurate. I'd go as far as to say way more biblically accurate than demons being these little red-horned monsters. So props for that. Next up, we got Jesus appearances. How biblically accurate are the portrayals of Jesus in Something About Kirby? He normally uses the default Christian view of how Jesus looked. I mean, I think it's literally a stock image, which I would say is fairly accurate. The closest description we get to Jesus is in a prophecy about the Messiah in Isaiah 53:2. He had no form or majesty that we should look at him, and no beauty that we should desire him. So the thought process, if you are in the sola scriptura camp, goes, therefore he looked exactly like an average Jewish man at the time. Hey, that makes sense. Which this image would fit. However, this particular image you can trace back to Orthodox or Catholic icons, and this was before that church split even occurred, so there really wasn't the Orthodox or Catholic split even in the first place. So for all we know, a witness of Jesus may have whipped this up from their memory of him, but it's kind of hard to say for certain. Now, I'm not going to get into that today, because either way I go on that, I'm going to get ripped in half by one end of the aisle. That's tame though, compared to TerminalMontage's Second Coming variant, Jesus, which we have a lot more information on how Jesus will look when he comes back, based on Revelation 1:13 through 16. And in the midst of the lampstands, one like a son of man, clothed with a long robe and with a golden sash around his chest. The hairs of his head were white, like white wool, like snow. His eyes were like a flame of fire, his feet were like burnished bronze, refined in a furnace, and his voice was like the roar of many waters. In his right hand he held 7 stars, from his mouth came a sharp two-edged sword, and his face was like the sun shining in full strength. Extremely accurate to the text. A few things are missing, being the sharp two-edged sword and his face shining like the sun in full strength, which I would put down to limitations on even being able to draw such a thing in a 2D style. It would just be incredibly difficult to draw a two-edged sword, for instance, coming out of a mouth in a 2D style. And his face can't shine like the sun on the computer monitor because your computer monitor doesn't even put out that much brightness. That doesn't work. Overall, extremely biblically accurate. Also, there is one more point here which I think he could have done slightly better on, which would be the roar of many waters.
With man, this is impossible. But with God, all things are possible.
Although he did go ahead and put some voice filters over it to make his voice more awesome sounding. There might have been something he could have been able to do here. Maybe take some floodwater sounds or something like that and put it behind it. But this is for a cartoon series at the end of the day. And for a cartoon series, he's already doing way more than he should be required to. Overall, I'd just say extremely biblically accurate. Also, I saw a bunch of people comment about what was in Jesus' hands in the Revelation image of him here, and I thought it was pretty funny, so I'm going to share some of those with you guys. Some people thought the stars were the Chaos Emeralds from Sonic, and others thought it was the Dragon Balls. So yeah, that's pretty much the Christian Kirbo series though, and about how biblically accurate I think it is. Overall, I'd say about a 9 out of 10 on biblical accuracy, way more than can be expected for a cartoon series, and it's a fantastic series, and it shows that Terminal Montage really knows his stuff. Anyways, that's all I have for today. Until next time, I'm Elijah.